Hello and welcome to the third episode of the SoccerBrothers podcast. I'm your host, Sal Katara, and as always, I'm joined with my brother, Nihal.
Hey, guys.
So, we got a lot of stuff to cover today, but first of all, we have some news for our podcast. Our podcast is now up on iTunes. You can look it up by searching SoccerBrothers on the iTunes store. So that's huge.
Yeah, it's really exciting to get accepted by iTunes. Maybe we can reach a larger audience. And we have some other exciting news, arguably more exciting news, if you'd like to tell the listeners, I hope.
Yeah, and just to go back on that iTunes thing, the podcast is still going to be uploaded on SoundCloud, so don't worry about that.
All right.
We are having a special guest in either the next episode or the one after that. My brother got in contact with Ian Paul Joy on Twitter. He's a former soccer player and current commentator for NYCFC on the Yes Network and on beIN Sports. This is a huge coup.
Is it beIN Sports, Sal? It's beIN Sport.
Oh.
Get it right. When we're talking to Mr. Joy, you gotta get that right.
Okay. Might get offended. Yeah, but this is huge, isn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a coup.
I don't know what a coup means, actually.
Well, it's very exciting. I messaged him and I was just like, okay, we might as well ask, maybe to get some more listeners. And, he ended up saying yes, seems like a very nice guy, and we'll have him on next week. So, we haven't figured out if we're going to have our own review episode of the World Cup. But, he's into everything. He's played in Germany. He's played in MLS. And he's played for the U.S. youth team. So, and he commentates for everything.
Yeah.
beIN currently has the Copa America, and they have Serie A and La Liga too. But he does a lot of, you're a Roma fan. He does a lot of Roma games.
Yeah.
For beIN. So, it's someone we love listening to. If you haven't listened to his commentary, I know you think this. I really think he's one of the best commentators we have in this country. American commentators. He doesn't have a Scottish accent. He was raised in Scotland, but he was born here. Has represented the U.S. national teams at the youth level. So it's he and what's his partner's name again?
It depends. Sometimes it's Drake Cordero. Sometimes it's Phil Sheen.
Oh, he does. Phil Sheen. Phil Sheen. Hopefully, we can get him on sometime too. He went to BGSU, which is right down the street from us. So,
and it's funny because we didn't. We were talking about contacting a bunch of people, but we only contacted Ian Paul Joy.
We only contacted Ian Joy. Also, we'll probably have writers from Between the Touchlines, which is the website I write for. It's a soccer website, and they have a bunch of MLS contributors. So, I guess and I haven't run this by you yet, but we're recording right now. I was thinking maybe do a mid-season review for like the East and the West, and have contributors talk about each team for like 5 or 6 minutes, and have episodes for that. But yeah, a lot of exciting news, and we can't see what the future for this podcast holds. But we're excited to keep on going with this and to expand our listener base.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk some women's national team.
Yes.
In the semifinals of the World Cup, we beat Germany 2-0 in the semifinals in Montreal with goals from Carly Lloyd off a penalty and Kelly O'Hara. Seemed like we were the better side in this match. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I was wrong. On the last podcast, I kind of went on a rant on Jill Ellis and her.
I think that was the first one.
Okay, it might have been the first one. But in any case, I kind of went on a rant about Jill Ellis, and I might have said she wasn't fit to coach the national team. I don't remember if I said that or not. But I was completely wrong. She got us to the semifinal with the 4-4-2. It was working. We didn't talk about the China match. We didn't have a podcast after that, but we dominated that match. And this match, we were the better side too. We deserved to win. We took our chances well. We did get a little lucky with the penalty, and also pretty lucky for Julie Johnston not to be sent off. But we were the better team. I think it was a deserved win for the U.S., and they looked very, very good. And Jill Ellis showed she had the capacity to change up the tactics. So overall, a great performance by the national team. They beat the best team in the world. How much, Germany, it's not really an excuse for Germany, but, they did play extra time and had penalties. against probably the second best team in the world at that time, we thought. One of the top 3 teams in the world the match before. So that probably drained them quite a bit. But, you got to show up for these matches. And there was actually a lot of commentary about how Germany might not be up for this match because of that. But the U.S., the U.S. played very well and deservedly won. Great performance by the U.S. Women, and looking forward to the final this Sunday.
Yeah. So let's talk about the other side of the bracket. Japan narrowly beat England on Wednesday with a penalty goal from Miyama, and of course that unfortunate own goal from England defender Lauren Bassett in the 92nd minute.
That was cruel, man.
It was terrible to watch. I wasn't rooting for England or anything, but it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
What are your general thoughts on that semifinal?
I think it's clear that it was a different level of soccer. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's fair, because England did a good job of slowing down Japan's possession-oriented soccer, so they weren't able to do exactly what they wanted, and England looked very, very dangerous at times. There was 2 terrible penalty calls. I didn't mention it, but I did mention it, actually. Alex Morgan got lucky with her penalty call. But it was a fun match to watch. It was an exciting match to watch. The first goal was absolutely fantastic. Or what led to the first goal was fantastic play from Japan. Naomi Kawasumi, I think is how you pronounce it. She had a great ball up the right wing, and brought down, and her teammate was brought down by the England defender. But it was a great ball to set up that. It was to set up that penalty. It was clearly a foul. It was outside the box, but then 10 minutes later, England was given a phantom penalty.
That wasn't even a foul.
No, it wasn't a foul. The captain Houghton was brought down in the box, or brought down. She went down in the box and she got the penalty call. So yeah, overall it was an exciting match. England didn't necessarily deserve to win. I mean, no one deserves to lose that way. But I really think, especially in the second half, they were the better team. Duggan hit the post. Jill Scott had a couple of good chances. Overall, there was some chances there. And once Lucy Bronze went down with an injury, the English defense looked a little bit more out of sorts. She's been one of the best players in this tournament. She's actually in the running for the Golden Ball. I don't know if you saw the list, but Julie Johnston was there, Carly Lloyd was there, as well as Rapinoe and Lucy Bronze. So that was a big loss for them, and it would have been a big loss in the final. But England, unfortunate way to lose. But they have to get themselves ready, and they have to prepare for the third place match against Germany. And this is a great tournament for them. And their coach said it best. Bassett epitomized the English national team. She was one of the best players in the tournament defensively, and it's just unfortunate to see that. But she's gotten a lot of support and a lot of outpouring of sympathy. So
still no Wando, right?
You had to go there. I mean, imagine if Omar Gonzalez did that. In a World Cup semifinal.
I mean, no. Wando's already got enough heat about that. I can't imagine an own goal in the semifinal.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely terrible. But, it's an exciting rematch where the U.S. is playing the defending champions in the final. So
yeah. So about this whole rematch storyline, it's obviously something that a lot of people have been saying. How are each of these teams different from what they were 4 years ago?
Well, the U.S. definitely plays a different style. They don't have a holding midfielder, an out-and-out holding midfielder. In the last game against Germany, we switched to a 4-5-1 with a lone striker, Morgan, and Morgan Bryan was more of the holding midfielder, while Cheney and Lloyd were able to go forward, which was great for them. Lloyd was always in the box. The U.S., it's hard to say. I think defensively, the U.S. is much, much better. Christine Rampone was fantastic last time, and Rachel Beeler was there, but she's not on the same level as Johnston and Sauerbrunn. And the fullbacks last time were Krieger, who played left back actually, and Amy Lepelbit, who played right back. But Krieger and Klingenberg are much better. Krieger's better herself, and Klingenberg has been fantastic. So the defense has been absolutely fantastic. They've only let up 1 goal, and we scored 9. But by the same token, Japan has also scored 9 goals in this tournament and have only let up 3 goals. And one of them was an absolute howler, which we talked about against the Netherlands. The way Japan has played, Japan just is not as good as they used to be. They used to have Sawa, who's on the roster, but she's 36 now. She hasn't really played in this tournament. I don't even know if she's played at all, actually. But she was by far the most creative player. And she was able to, connect between the defense and the forwards, and she was able to dribble around players, and she just was by far the best player on their team. They still play the same type of soccer, possession oriented. They pass around and they look for an opening. So the U.S. defense has to be tight, and they have to be always alert. They can't be lulled to sleep. And have Japan attack quickly. And I think, Ono, who's on the Japan team again, who's on the Japanese team again, was the striker last time who did very well. And she's coming off the bench this time. She's not as prevalent as she used to be in the roster. But I think, actually, no, she did start against England. My bad. But, they're just not the same team. They're not as good, is the best way to put it. I would say Japan have had a great tournament. They've definitely had the easier road to the final. So I really do expect the U.S. to win, and I think they should win handily. Because, like I said, Japan is just not the same team they were. Yeah.
So after that Germany semifinal, a lot of women's national team fans should be confident. But what specifically does the U.S. have to do to win this game?
Well, they need to control the midfield. I think, they can concede possession, but they have to make sure Japan, instead of finding that ball forward, is always passing backwards, and then pressing. If they continue with the 4-5-1, have Morgan and Lloyd and whoever the midfielders are, the outside midfielders are, continue to press. So if they win that battle, and they can get Morgan in some open space and give her some chances and get Lloyd up there, then they should have a good time. They also, like I said, need to be alert defensively. They cannot fall asleep and let Japan get a chance in goal or on goal. That's essentially it. They don't need, like I said, they don't need to control possession, but they do need to be the better and the more physical team in the midfield. That's what I meant by control the midfield, not control possession.
And then finally, scoreline predictions for this game.
I think the USA is going to win 3-0.
Pretty bold.
Yeah, I think the first 30 minutes will be a lot of Japan holding onto the ball. I think we'll get a chance, and then once Japan starts chasing the game, I think the U.S. will put it away. But that's not to say Japan can't win. I think it's important to note that Japan has been one of the best teams in the tournament. They are the defending champion. But right now the U.S. is rolling, and Japan had a difficult time versus England. They had a tough match. So Japan can win, but...
So now I know that you were talking about, even in the group stages of this tournament, that the mindset of the women's national team players won in the right place. And I'm sure we've had a lot more to get cocky about now that we've beaten the number 1 ranked team in the world. So could that play a part? Could we take Japan too lightly in the final?
Usually I would say yes, but we lost to them in the last World Cup final, which I think the U.S. is ready for this. I think, what bothered me, we were watching ESPN FC today, and they showed that clip of Kelly O'Hara and Abby Wambach said, we made it here, so we might as well win. Well, I don't really, it's not that easy. So, in a way, they might. I really don't think they're taking them too lightly. I don't really know what they meant by that, but the U.S. has got to be thinking, oh, we're the better team, we should win. But at the same time, they're going to be ready. They're going to think about 4 years ago when they lost. There's a lot of the same players, especially in the starting lineup. yeah, like Lloyd, Holiday, they were all there. Wambach was there. Morgan was there. Solo, of course, was there. Sauerbrunn was on the team. Krieger was there. So, some of these young players might be taking them lightly, but the older players should and will be there to tell them, we got one more game to go. Let's give it our all, and let's win. Let's bring it home for the first time in 16 years.
U.S. women's national team take on Japan on July 5th in the World Cup final.
At 7 p.m. on Fox. Regular Fox.
Yeah, which is different from some of the other games, right?
Yeah, some of them were on Fox Sports 1. Yeah.
So switching over to Copa America, in semifinal action, Eduardo Vargas' brace led Chile past Peru in a 2-1 victory.
Oh, man, did you see those goals?
No.
I showed you the second goal. The one from 30 yards out.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Sorry that I interrupted you.
And Argentina just destroyed Paraguay 6-1.
Yeah.
And Messi actually didn't score a goal, which I thought was surprising. Di Maria had a brace. But other than that, there was no player who scored more than once. The final is set in Santiago as Chile takes on Argentina. So let's first talk about the semifinal matches more in depth. So, in the Chile game, what did you think about it?
Chile were the better team. Peru did go down to 10 men very early on. So Peru might have been able to pull that out if it didn't happen, pull the match out. Chile weren't their best. They weren't as good as they have been all tournament, but they still were the better team. Eduardo Vargas was incredible. He has now 4 goals in the tournament. It'll be interesting to see if he moves to a bigger club this summer. But yeah, they were the better team. They deserved to win, and like I said before, I think they're going to go on to win it all.
And the Paraguay match?
The Argentina match. Yeah, the Argentina-Paraguay match. There's not really much to say. Di Maria was phenomenal in this game. If he plays like he did, it looked like Di Maria from last year, as in Real Madrid.
Champions League.
Yeah, it's like Champions League final. So, it just makes you think, what if Argentina had Di Maria for that World Cup final against Germany? It's so unfortunate that they didn't have him for that match. But Messi has been playing well. He only has 1 goal in the tournament, but he doesn't really need to score every goal like he did last year if the rest of his team's playing like this. Aguero's healthy. It's very rare for all of them to be healthy, to be honest. So, if they're firing on all cylinders right now, I still expect Chile to win, but it's going to be a very, very difficult task for them.
Why do you say that Chile is going to win?
I think the home support is a big, big thing. I think they're going to be up for it. They don't have many titles in South America. Before recently, they weren't considered one of the top teams in South America. This has been in the last couple of years, so there's a lot riding on it for the Chileans. Of course, Messi hasn't won a major international trophy yet, so he'll be going for that too. But I really think the Vidal in midfield and Gary Medel from Inter Milan, they can really control the midfield and outplay Argentina's midfield. Di Maria is playing on the wing for them. So I think that the combination of all of that will allow Chile to win. They're also a bit more of a physical team than Argentina, which South America is a physical, or the Copa America is a physical competition. But I still think it'll have an impact on the match and hurt Argentina. So, maybe Argentina's coming off a high of a 6-1 win, and will be a little bit too confident, which you've seen in the past. So, I think just Chile with the support, with everything that's going on off the field, I think they can win this match on Saturday.
Score predictions?
2-1, Chile.
All right. So now let's move into the U.S. Open Cup. On June 30th and July 1st, we saw the round of 16 matchups, and the results are the following. Philadelphia Union beat DC United 2-1. Orlando City beat Columbus Crew 2-0. Chicago beat Charlotte.
It's Charlotte.
Charlotte, okay. What is the meaning of that name?
Oh, man.
Charlotte United?
No. Wow. I think Charlotte Independence.
Yeah. 3-1.
God, that's terrible.
Okay.
The USL team. Sorry, guys.
Houston beat Colorado 1-0. New York Red Bulls beat Cosmos 4-1. And the Sporting Kansas City beat Dallas 6-2.
And RSL beat Portland 2-0. And San Jose beat LA 1. Or San Jose lost to LA 1-0.
I don't have good peripheral vision, apparently. Okay. So in general, what do you think about these matches? What?
There were 8 matches. I just think it's kind of funny. In general, which I think about.
I don't. This is okay. Fine. Do you want to hit each one?
I mean, there was a lot of interesting storylines. The main one being the Red Bulls playing Cosmos. Mm-hmm. The Cosmos were coming off a win against NYCFC. And the Cosmos beat Red Bulls last year in the U.S. Open Cup. So, New York...
Wait, and didn't recently the Red Bulls play NYCFC in MLS?
Yeah.
There's been a lot of New York...
Yeah, there's been a lot of New York stuff going on. It's the soccer wars, as they call them. So, the Red Bulls cemented their place as the best team in New York right now. With a really good quality win against... Quality win against the Cosmos. And then Sporting Kansas City beating Dallas 6-2. Dom Dwyer with 4 goals in this one. I mean, that's just fantastic. Kellen Acosta, the U20 player, with a goal as well, which is something of note. So, I mean, I don't know. That's just an absolute blowout. Christian Nemeth with a brace in this one. He's been a fantastic signing, the Hungarian winger/striker. So he continues to produce, and hopefully this is a jump start for Dom Dwyer, and he can translate it more to MLS. And then there's not too much else to talk about. There's only MLS teams left. Jose Villarreal scored a fantastic goal for the Galaxy. He continues to be on fire. And, I just really wish he didn't go on loan to Cruz Azul last year. It's just a waste of a year in his development because he didn't play at all. But he looks like he's back to where we thought he would be, and he looks to be an important part of the U.S. national team picture going forward if he can get in there. But, it's the quarterfinals are set. You want to list off the quarterfinals?
Yeah. RSL at home is playing LA, Sporting KC against Houston, Chicago against Orlando City FC, and New York Red Bulls against Philadelphia Union. Yeah, I mean,
the Red Bulls Union's obviously a rivalry. Sporting KC Houston should be interesting. Chicago, Orlando, I expect Orlando to run away with that. And RSL LA, RSL has not had a good season. LA have been, they've been good. They haven't been great. So that's probably the most interesting lineup, or interesting matchup. Luke Mulholland, the RSL midfielder, said, it's nice for them to have matches like this or CONCACAF Champions League to start fresh and to not feel like they're in that rut of the MLS season. So I think for RSL, they're really, really taking this tournament seriously, and I feel like they're going to go on to win. Sporting KC always takes this tournament very seriously. But these are times where you'll see full lineups starting the quarterfinals, full of their best starting 11. So it'll be interesting to watch, and we'll see who wins. Right now, I think Sporting KC is probably my favorite right now, and I think Orlando has a shot to win it all too. So it's exciting. It's exciting to see this tournament do so well.
Really quickly, let's go over the MLS results from the weekend. Dallas beat Houston 2-0. Toronto tied DC 0-0. New England lost to Vancouver 1-2. Sporting Kansas City beat Colorado 2-0. RSL tied Columbus 2-2. San Jose beat LA 3-1. NYCFC lost to New York Red Bulls 1-3. And Portland beat Seattle 4-1.
Yeah, exciting weekend. A lot of rivalry matches. Portland beat Seattle 4-1. Red Bulls beat NYCFC 3-1. So yeah, a lot of good matchups this weekend.
The U.S. Gold Cup squad is playing Guatemala on July 3rd. What are your expectations for this game?
Well, I expect them to win. We saw them beat Guatemala 6-0 before the last Gold Cup, so we should win pretty easily. But I expect to see like the starting lineup and to see how we play, to see what Jurgen's plans are for this Gold Cup, to see a preview of that.
So a little bit more on the Gold Cup. Brad Davis was injured from the squad, so he had to be replaced by Greg Garza. What do you think about Greg Garza?
I'm really glad he's there. I mean, he's a left-footed player. He can play left back, left mid. Maybe if Klinsmann decides he wants to play Fabian Johnson in the midfield, he can move him there, play Chandler at right back, and play Garza at left back. But I don't think Garza is going to play much in the Gold Cup, unfortunately. I mean, he was left off the initial roster, so why would he?
Jurgen Klinsmann recently announced that Jordan Morris wasn't on the Gold Cup roster because he had an injury. Do you think it would have made a big impact, and do you think this stunted his development a little bit?
It would have been nice for him to been there with the national team, but he will have an opportunity to be there for Olympic qualifying. But yeah, it's unfortunate. Maybe Wanda wouldn't have been there if he was there. But definitely unfortunate. It's not a huge thing in his development because, maybe he would have played. I actually really don't know at this point because he was fantastic in his last couple of matches. So you know what? Yeah, I'm changing my answer. Yeah, it does. It probably affects his development at least a little bit.
We talked a lot about Dempsey and his situation with the armband. He was stripped of it, and Bradley is the captain for the Gold Cup.
I generally agree with this move. I just wish Klinsmann had said Bradley is the captain from now on, instead of saying he's the captain for now. Because he did say that. And it's slightly bothersome that Klinsmann, I don't know, he's just changing it for this tournament. For me, the armband should mean a lot. You shouldn't just be it shouldn't just be thrown around everywhere. I think Bradley should be the captain, and he should be the captain going forward for the next 2 cycles, really. So, I'm glad Bradley's the captain now. Maybe it will lead to him becoming the captain. Klinsmann said he wanted Dempsey to focus on scoring rather than being a captain in this tournament, and then maybe he could get it back. But I hope Bradley just becomes the captain for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. Mexico had some key injuries for the Gold Cup. Hector Moreno and Chicharito were hurt.
Yeah, 2 big losses. Moreno, the defender, and Chicharito, of course, one of the strikers up top. And I know this sounds kind of crazy, but I think Moreno is a bigger injury because they do have some more options up top with Giovanni Dos Santos, Carlos Vela, and Uribe, Estepillo, Peralta. But, they're both huge losses. I hope this broken collarbone by Chicharito also doesn't affect his move to MLS because that would be big too. But Chicharito was replaced by Chuletita Orozco.
What's his club?
I have no idea, Sahel. Why would you ask me that question?
I don't know.
I just have the information in front of me.
Okay.
I should have done more research, okay? You're the host.
No, you do the research.
Yeah, true.
I do half the research, and then you complete,
Okay, fine. It was my fault.
So Pirlo's move to NYCFC was confirmed. This is a big deal for MLS.
Yeah, I think it'll have we'll gain a fan base from Italy, hopefully, at least a little bit. Pirlo, of course, is one of the stars of the game, one of the most recognizable faces. But I'm interested to see how he fits into that team, especially with Lampard, who's not going to run much, and with Diskerud. A lot of central midfielders there. I'm also excited to see what Ian Joy thinks about the midfield there. But yeah, big move for MLS.
Do you think that it was a poor decision financially for NYCFC?
No. I mean, there were rumors that NYCFC wanted a younger DP, but City Football Group overruled them, which sort of adds fuel to the fire, or fuel to the detractors, I should say, who say the NYCFC is just it's not its own club. There is a mothership, as Alexi Lawless says. But financially, maybe I wish they did go for a younger DP, but he will put fans in the seats, and he will, and hopefully it'll expand our fan base across the world.
We were talking about Chicharito before. Now he's linked to Orlando City and MLS. What do you think about this rumor?
Oh, if this happens, huge for Orlando. They need another striking option besides Kyle Larin, who's been great, but he's not at the quality of Chicharito yet. Huge for MLS. Not only that they get a great player, they get a good character, they get a player in his prime, a Mexican player in his prime, who will bring a lot of fans from Mexico. Right now, Liga MX is the most watched league in the U.S. So hopefully we can get some of those people who watch Liga MX who are invested in the Mexican national team to start watching MLS and to start watching Chicharito, especially if Giovanni Dos Santos comes to MLS as well, another Mexican player in his prime. So if we had two Mexican players like that, it would be huge for the league. Two more fantastic players in their primes, playing at big clubs in Valencia and Manchester United / Real Madrid, where Chicharito played last year. It'd be huge, absolutely huge for MLS. And Dos Santos is being linked to the Galaxy, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Another one is Abu Dhabi being linked to FC Dallas.
He's a good player. He's always injured though, but he's a good player, and he would really help the FC Dallas midfield, which they need some midfield help right now.
Now to the European scene. Let's talk about AC Milan. They've recently signed Carlos Bacca from Sevilla, and Luis Adriano from Shakhtar.
Yeah, two strikers, two good moves for them. They lost out on Jackson Martinez. So, it's good for them to get some striking options. They had Destro on loan last year and not a whole lot else.
Menez is decently.
Yeah, but Menez plays on the wing too, right? I mean, he can play. Yeah, he plays center forward. But I think two good moves for them, two quality strikers, but they are both up there in age. They're not young players, but two quality strikers.
Adriano proved that he was like a great striker in the Champions League, but do you think that Champions League can translate to Serie A? Because right now he's playing in Ukraine, so can we really be certain that...
No, we can't be certain. Because Dumbia sucked. So, okay. We can't be certain of anything, really.
Yeah. So staying in Italy, Juventus rejected an $100 million bid for Pogba from Barcelona.
Yeah. I really think, if not this summer, he's going to go to Barcelona eventually. He's stated that he wants to play with Messi. $100 million or more is way too much to pass up on. I think he'll be moving.
Not this window, though.
Not this window.
So moving over to England, Liverpool signed fullback Nathaniel Clyne from Southampton. What do you think about Clyne?
He's a great player. Glenn Johnson was terrible this season, so naturally Roma want him.
That was just a rumor. I don't think that's actually.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen either. But Clyne will really, really help their team. Liverpool continues their track record of buying Southampton players. I still don't see Liverpool doing that well this year. I think hopefully they finish below Everton. But Clyne's a great buy. He's a great right back, quality right back for England and in the Premier League. So good buy for them.
Staying in England, Petr Cech moved from Chelsea to Arsenal.
Yeah, it's a good move for Arsenal. John Terry said he's worth 12 points, so if that's true, they should be winning the league. I have Arsenal winning the league anyway this year, actually.
Really?
But we'll get into that later in the year. Espina is currently their goalkeeper, or was their goalkeeper before Cech went there, and he had a fantastic Copa America, but really wasn't that great for Arsenal last year. I don't know if Ospina will stay. We'll see what happens with Chesney, but Cech, great signing for them, and he got to stay in London like he wanted to.
Yeah. So we played a game in the previous episode, and we have plans for that again.
All right, should we explain the game again? I think we should, just in case we have any new listeners.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so basically, one of us picks a player to ask the other player about. They can be any nationality. They can be playing anywhere. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a youth player. And the other player, the person who's answering the question about the player, doesn't know who that player is. Mm-hmm. So we alternate every episode. Last time I did it, you asked about Tommy Thompson. So this time I'll ask it, and you'll have to answer 3 questions about them. What do you think about his game? Where do you rate him in the pool now? And do you see him on the 2018 World Cup squad?
Yeah.
All right, so are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, I went for an older player, which you did predict.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Alejandro Bedoya.
Okay. What do I think of Bedoya's game? Well, Bedoya has the versatility to play at attacking mid. He can also play as a wide midfielder. I feel like no matter what system we're playing, Bedoya is going to be on our starting squad right now. So I really like the way he plays and how versatile he can be, and it's nice to have players playing in Europe still.
Yeah. All right, so where do you rate him in the pool?
Well, I said before that I think he would start in any midfield we have, so right at the top, yeah, I think he's our best midfielder. Or
Really?
after Bradley.
What about Fabian Johnson? Or do you not count him as a midfielder?
I think we need to see what Klinsmann's playing in the Gold Cup. I don't know if we can say for certain that he's going to be playing as a wide midfielder in the World Cup.
We have seen Bedoya play right back before. That was interesting.
Which one was that?
He just moved back there.
Is it a friendly?
Match. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
All right, so do you see him on the 2018 World Cup squad? He'll be 31. That's not that old, but...
That's tough. I mean, we have... See, I've said that I think Zelalem is going to be in the 2018 World Cup, which is pretty bold. And obviously, there's a lot of people to consider.
I mean, 31's not... If you think about it, Beckerman, Wondolowski, Davis, and Jermaine Jones made the World Cup debut in 2014. And they were, 32?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if he's going to increase in quality. He'd probably be in MLS back then, so probably comfortable there.
Yeah, I mean, he said he doesn't want to come back to MLS.
Really?
Yeah, because of the free agency structure and the money and how it works.
Oh, yeah, I've seen him tweet about that stuff.
Yeah.
Bedoya's going to be in the World Cup, and he's going to be starting in 2018.
Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, I mean, I know I'm not necessarily supposed to say anything, but I think Yedlin might overtake him on that right side of the midfield by then.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be interesting.
Who do you think if we're playing a diamond, who do you think would be at the top of the diamond?
Bradley,
okay.
yeah, and either Beckerman if he's still alive, or Trapp, or someone like that, or maybe Perry Kitchen.
Yeah,
at the bottom. All right, so good game.
Yeah, subscribe to us on iTunes if you like this. You can leave comments on SoundCloud. You can give us a review on iTunes. Stay tuned for the next or the episode after that, because that's really exciting.
Yeah, we'll have you enjoy. Like we said earlier. So, try to, maybe tell your friends. We're excited. We're excited to continue the show. We'll probably have more episodes per week. I know we've been a little bit inconsistent. And, we missed a couple of U.S. games. But, we should have more and more episodes per week. We're just getting our situation sorted out a little bit.
Yeah.
But thanks for listening.
Thanks.